Alright everybody, hello and welcome as always. I am Sean. This is In The Mix, episode 88. That second fat lady joins us this week as we continue Season 2 in Championship. We are getting towards the business end of the season. This is potentially the second last episode of League games that we'll see. You'll understand what I mean in a minute. Basically, how the games go in today's episode will determine the episodes and the games that you guys see for the rest of the season. Let's jump straight in. I'll show you guys the results and you'll know. As you can see here, we have been on an okay little run of form. In the last episode, we of course beat Rochdale 2-1 and then went down to 10 men and lost 1-0 to Sheffield Wednesday. Something of a bogey team for us. We then drew 1-1 with Middlesbrough in a disappointing one because we took a lead early and they dragged us one back. And then the same thing happened against Luton. We took an early lead and then they equalised late on in the last 10 minutes or so. We did bounce back with a 2-0 win against Bradford. We rotated just a little bit, just a couple of tweaks to the starting lineup. And I think we found some good rhythm in this one. It could have been 4 or 5 if I'm being completely honest. The sad part is that we picked up a knock for Luciano Ramirez. He's out for a couple of weeks. Dave Rowley came off the bench to fill in for him and also picked up a knock. He's also out for a couple of weeks. So it's going to cause a little bit of strain on that left wing side, but we've got a couple of different things we can try that we'll go through in this episode. And it's 2 away games now. Millwall, who are down in 12th. They came up from League 1 last season and are doing fantastically well. And Birmingham, who are down in 16th spot. As far as the division is concerned, we are in 4th position, but we've played an additional game on a lot of the other teams around us. Once they play that extra game, there's potential that both Fulham and Ipswich could jump above us on points. Thankfully, we do have a bit of a gap between where we might be in 6th and where we are in 7th with Swansea. Even if they win their game in hand, they can only go to 65 points and wouldn't immediately jump above us back into the promotion spots. If we win both games today, I think it pretty much guarantees us a promotion place. If we don't, it's going to become very sticky and we'll have to have a look at what the scenarios are going into the last day of the season, whether we bring you guys additional episodes tomorrow or additional games in the run home tomorrow, or if we play the last 2 games of the season and then make our Friday episode the playoffs. Regardless, you guys are going to see the playoffs if we make them. Don't stress either way. As far as the squad's concerned, I've brought a couple of players back up from the under-23 sides just because they didn't go out on loan. So Fushbauer's been back in there as well. So has Wiskanian. We're kind of trying to rotate a little bit. But again, and this will be a key and critical thing that we have to remember when we do our off-season, we need to try and bring in more homegrown players and more homegrown players at the club. I'm hopeful that some of these players that are 18, 19 years of age are slowly going to turn into homegrown club players as they have been at the club a few seasons. But I think it's obvious we need to not be as hamstrung in terms of the subs we can pick, in terms of the players available, in terms of all that sort of stuff as well. So regardless of how it plays out, whether we make the playoffs, whether we get promoted, whether we stay in the division, whatever else, we've got a very big off-season coming up. The one little tactical change we made is we've brought in a Messiah role instead of a central midfielder on attack. I just like that Messiah role kind of shuttling back and forward. I've also brought the Wolf back in to play alongside Hosseini. We're going to give Curse a go on the left wing. We might put him to support. He doesn't seem too bothered either way, so yeah, we'll go attack. Why not? We'll keep the same structure for the team consistent, but he'll come in for at least 2 weeks. Ramirez is expected to be out between 3 and 5, and I don't want to risk him too much. I'd rather he was back for the last couple of games of the season in the playoffs than we tried to push him too far now. I initially said, yes, let's do injections to get him through the next game, but then having thought about it, taking a deep breath, I thought, no, that doesn't make the most sense. So the lineup, we're going with Kubas in goal, Escobar and Mohamed Dillapor as the central defensive partnership. Mohamed Dillapor still upset, still just hating the world and life at the moment, but we are kind of doing okay in terms of form, so we'll leave him in there. Hernandez and Trueblood as the fullbacks. The Wolf will anchor midfield with Hosseini alongside him, Beniti at the 10, Curse will fill on the left wing, Petrovic on the right, and Kamara up top. They're playing a very flat 4-4-2. They've got a couple of holdouts here in terms of real players actually in the squad. Joe Rose, a very good goalkeeper. I think he was in the Media Dream 11 back in League 1 when we were playing Millwall at that level. Very good as a sweeper-keeper and goalkeeper role, so a very versatile player if you're looking to pick up your own. He will have started in the Norwich Academy back at the start of everyone's save. They got Despodov over on the left wing, 33-year-old Bulgarian international, can play on the left, can play on the right. They're using him as a left winger a little bit deeper. Hopefully him playing a little bit out of position will minimise his impact. He looks fairly solid despite getting on a little bit in years. On the other side, they've got Barbero, US international, who looks like he comes through Belgrano or maybe even New York Red Bulls. At the start of the database, looks solid, nothing spectacular, nothing particularly scary there. And at the back, they've got Lloyd Kelly, who's been in their side, I think, for a good few seasons now. He's originally left back. They're using him as a central defender. He can play that role and be a good ball-playing defender as well. 31 years of age now. A lot of those players that are like, promising 16, 17-year-olds are starting to get into their 30s now that we're a good few years down the track. Assertively, we're going to say, I want you to pick up where you left off last time out. Everyone's responded positively to that. And I'm also going to tell, I have faith for Camera up front. If he scores, we're usually on our way to 3 points, and that's desperately what we need to try and get in this episode. First highlight of the game, True Blood with a throw-in on the right-hand side, back to Benizzi. Plays a nice little 1-2. And then a reverse pass to Benizzi again, who has gotten goal side of the midfield and gets into the box and finds the finish. 6th goal of the season for Samuel Benizzi. A wonderful, wonderful finish. And it's not a massive shock that at the moment we've got like Newcastle, Norwich, I think Tottenham as well, currently keeping an eye on him and his progress. We didn't pick him up for a tremendous amount of money. I think it was about 4 million all up from Cagliari in the off-season, and already teams are sniffing around wanting to spend significantly more than that to try and bring him to their Premier League squads. It'll be interesting to see actually how different bids come in for different players during this off-season and what we do in some of those scenarios. If we get an offer that's around £10 million, I don't think I could turn it down for him. We could definitely bring in 4 or 5 good young players for that sort of money. Well, good header there from Herbert as well. So Millwall have found an equaliser while I was talking. It's just a good little throw-in exchange. The ball got to Barbero. He wraps his foot around it, and Herbert had pulled off the shoulder of the defender. Which defender is it that loses him here? I think it might be Mohamed Dillapor. Barbero, good ball, gets his head up, swings it around. It is. It's Mohamed Dillapor, doesn't go with him. Herbert drops off, and he's got pretty much a free header to power that one back across the goalkeeper for the equalising goal. Corner here as well. Despotov to take. Hernandez with a good header away. It's going to fall to Herbert again. Now Despotov. Someone just stand him up, boys. Square ball to Watson. It's pinballing around, and Curse eventually scrambles it away. Highlight continues though. Ball into the corner here. We should recover, and it's gone out for a throw, and the highlight comes to an end. So set pieces clearly, or not set pieces, but out of the air is definitely going to be a strength, it looks likely for Millwall here. Throw in very deep on the right-hand side, similar to where their first goal came from. McGowan with the deep ball in, Herbert with the flick-on header. It's the second goal from pretty much the same scenario. A little, interchange at the throw there. I've hiccuped, that's how furious I am. It's just poor pressing, not intelligent movement off the ball. And again, Mohamed Dillapor beaten out of the air by Herbert, who flicks that one beyond Kubis. Not great. We can at least use our demand more shout, get a bit fiery with everybody. And worst case scenario, if we go into half time down, we can get a bit aggressive and move to attacking in the second half to push on. Got a wide free kick here. Benizzi to take towards back post. Petrovic was in there, but they've managed to clear it away. Watson now coming forward for Millwall. They had numbers streaming forward, but they've just slowed up now since they've gotten their own half. Watson squares it back for Barbero. Now to Gunner. Oh, it's hit the bar, and Herbert's in there again. Herbert's got a hat-trick inside 40 minutes. That is absolutely ridiculous. And just such poor defensive lapses. Mohamed Dillapor not having a good game here. And Watson did quite well. Fair play to him. And then he cuts it back into a good area. And just everyone's so slow getting to it. And it's a nice little side float across. And then Mohamed Dillapor, I think, slid into Kubis. And the ball spills free. And Herbert's the only one on his feet left there to tap it home. Corner here again. Despotov to take. It's a flick on header again for Gunner. Just over the crossbar. We might be hanging on here going into the second half. Wide free kick, True Blood. Can we pull one back before half time? Kamara was right there, about a yard out. If he had been able to get that one on target, it would have been a second for us. 10 shots, 8 on target, 43% of the ball for Millwall, all of them coming from crosses and finishes. Aggressively, we're going to say, show me something else in the second half. And we're going to use a little tactics board here. We're going to go attacking. Who's struggling the most out there? Hernandez not having a great game. Curse not having a great game. That left side is where all of their goals have come from. Kamara's also picked up a bit of a knock. We'll hold off on that. Let's give it 15 minutes, see how everybody responds to getting the hairdryer at half time. And maybe we can try and pull one back here and make for an interesting finish. Ball forward from Rose now in the Millwall goal. Looks like an offside or something. Petrovic with a good header, finds Benizzi. Can he find a nice little reverse pass for Camera? He does. Oh, and the strike had a bit of venom on it, but never looked like it was going to trouble the goalkeeper. Maybe need to look for the far corner rather than the near one. All right, where are we at in terms of the playing group here? We're through an hour now, and Kamara hasn't played particularly well. I'm going to have faith in him, though. Curse hasn't done very well. Let's try and get Ramirez through just a little bit of time. It's not going to be great for him, but at least we can try. And we'll bring on Madrigal as well for Hosseini. Is that sufficient, or do we need to try and find an additional change here? I don't know who I'd actually make the change for, to be completely honest. Maybe Dorba for Petrovic? No, let's leave Petrovic out there. Let's go passionately, boys. I have faith in you. Let's also use our get creative shout. I wouldn't say we've been scoring freely lately, but our front four hasn't been playing poorly, even if the goals haven't flowed. This would see us drop down to 6th position on the ladder. Benitzi, ball into the channel for Kamara to chase. Well, he's done quite well to win it back for Ramirez. Can you find the finish here? Rose with an excellent save, pushes it around the far post. Good work from Kamara though. Not letting that knock affect him, putting good pressure on the defence. Corner in is poor. It's going to be cleared by Brown here for Millwall. Highlight continues as he bursts into his own half. If they score here, I think that's pretty much game set. And whatever other football cliches you want to use, or sports cliches, I guess. Kamara's won the ball back in a good area. We've got a man on the left. We're looking for Ramirez now, but it was a poor clearance. 10 minutes remaining. Let's use our demand more shout here. Everyone seems focused, which is good, but really, I need everyone to score. That's the key part. Kamara's picked up an injury. We have an additional sub. Dorber can come on, but he's not great at the advanced forward role. We'll just confirm that sub. And really, this one's now kind of about damage limitation. What are these injuries and knocks going to do to us in the next match? 4 minutes to be added on here. Oof, it's not looking great for us. 14 shots, 10 on target, 41% for Millwall for their 3-1 win. 14 shots, 8 on target, 59% possession for us, but we didn't do much with it. Assertively, far from pleased with what I saw from this team. And that does see us drop down to 6th position. And this is where games in hand get tricky because now Swansea could potentially jump above us if they win their game in hand. And they've just had a pretty sporting 0-0 draw against Aston Villa, who are pretty much assured of a automatic promotion spot. Ramirez is out 4 to 5 weeks. I'm going to talk to him about his injury. Don't worry about your injury. We've exacerbated his by just forcing him through those additional minutes there. And really, it was all for nothing when you think about it. We lost anyway. Abubakar Kamara is out for 1 to 2 days. All right, what are we going to do with the squad here? Let's clear everybody out and let's go into the tactic. Actually, no, let's not do that. Let's come back a little bit earlier than we normally would. Let's give everyone 2 days rest just to find their focus. We're going away from home to Birmingham. We're going to go attacking because we have to go after it. We need to try and get wins. I'd rather win 3-2 than lose 1-0 at the moment. And magic of editing, let's jump forward to our team selection and see how we can try and work something on that left wing. Alright, so a slightly different screen because we aren't quite in the game just yet. But effectively what I did was a quick pick advice just to show who they think should play in the shapes. And then I've gone through and I've adjusted everyone to be playing in their preferred roles. I might make a couple of little tactical tweaks to individual instructions. Let's go dribble less, and we want to make this. Yeah, I think that works okay for that one to be a deeper lying of the two. And then I've also put Trueblood back as a complete wing back because, like, let's be honest, with going into the last 5 games of the season, if we have to go into shootouts and try and beat teams by scoring a lot, I'd rather have everyone comfortable in their roles and on an attacking shape than just sitting back and waiting. We should be beating Birmingham regardless of where we're playing or what time of the year it is. So we might as well go after it a little bit and try and secure a playoff spot. Match squad must have 5 players trained by a club in England, currently 4. Okay, I don't have anyone else fit. Okay, I can drop Vizcanyan apparently and put one of these goalkeepers in from the club itself, but that should get us through. Looking at the Birmingham lineup, it's a very narrow 4-3-3. They're playing 3 individual strikers up top. This was like a tactic last year, just a tactic that was incredibly overpowered. They've still got some players holding on here. Moises Ramirez, Ecuadorian goalkeeper. I'm getting deja vu, so I think I might have previewed him before. They've got Robbie McKenzie, now 31 years of age from Hull. Looks to be a decent ball-playing defender for this level. Like physically not doing that great though. And Steven Sessegnon, the lesser Sessegnon brother, 29 years of age now. They picked him up from Fulham at some point via Sheffield United. Kelly, their captain in midfield. Looks like he comes through Feyenoord's academy, a young Irish player, 34 years of age. Looks alright, nothing interesting. Physically, he's absolutely shot at the moment, and I'm guessing he's just going to ping balls over the top for the 3 up top. Passionately, we're going to say, let's avenge what happened last time after we played Birmingham. We've lost a lot of games this year, and really that's probably the key point of improvement for next season, being a little bit more difficult to beat, or some of those games that we've lost, how do we turn those into draws? How do we turn our draws into wins, etc., etc. Ball in behind there very early, found Camara. Just a straight ball over the top from Hosseini, I think it was. Did quite well, forced a good save out of the keeper. Trueblood with the corner now. Why is Trueblood taking corners? It's going to leave us 1v1 at the back. We definitely don't want that. Giving away a free kick about 20 yards out here. It's going to be Kelly to take. We did preview him beforehand. I didn't look at his free kicks, but thankfully screws that shot just wide of the near post. Throw in here, left-hand side. Hernandez to take. Forward to Curse. Now Benitzi. Wolf looks to send one over the top for the overlapping fullback. Hernandez gets in the box, plays it towards Kamara. It's not cleared particularly well by Birmingham. Petrovic will pick up the response. Cross is closed down. Rooney for the long ball forward. Grassinger with a good header. Oh, they put Cabrera back in. Did I mention that when we were doing the selection? They also suggested that Grassinger starts instead of Mohamed Dillapor. So maybe after his poor performance last time out, they wanted him to kind of have a bit of a spell. Petrovic on a great run here and in the box and tries to find the finish. He's clipped the base of the post before Rooney scrambles it away for Birmingham. We're going to see the resulting corner here. Again, it's going to be taken by Andy Trueblood. I hate that it's leaving us 1v1 at the back. Going to have to sort these out. I think it clipped the back of a defender there before Ramirez came out and claimed. Throw in, right-hand side for Birmingham here. Cabrera, reverse pass out to Fleming. Trueblood does well to win it back and gets goal side. He could probably play it forward now to Kamara and does. Good flick on header, finds Curse. A little reverse pass in here, find Beniti. Instead he's gone wide himself. Now it's back out to Trueblood. Burst past one and gets the strike himself. We just need to cross in those situations. I like the complete wing back role, but it hurts us once we get into the final third, I think, in terms of decision making. Whereas wing back, it tends to cross from deeper rather than trying to burst past a man and find a shot. And I'm not going to lie to you, our wing backs don't score a tremendous amount. Fleming's hit the ball back at stick here. And Johnny Blair with his 6th goal of the season, it's all coming apart at the seams, I feel. Is that the first highlight we've had for Birmingham so far? And it starts from a scenario where we've had a shot. And that ball in behind we should be dealing with. Greisinger does pretty poorly. Fleming hangs it back stick. He manages to click the bar and then give himself his own assist by just poking it home a yard out. Who's that swinging their arm in there? Do better. Do better. Don't just swing your arm after the goal's conceded. Let's not get ourselves into that position in the first place. Let's get creative with 10 minutes remaining in the half. Everyone seems inspired. We've had a couple of half chances. Deep free kick here for Birmingham. Cabrera with the ball, and they've got a second. And I've accidentally left the overall physical condition bit in there, so you guys won't have seen it cross the line. We're going to have to check this one out in 3 dimensions. What has gone on here? It's a deep ball in from Kelly. Little stutter step in the build-up. And again, we just leave him wide open. My central defender just decided to run directly into Kubis, making it difficult for him to try and save anything. But it looped over his head into the far corner, and this is not proving to be a very good episode. One of my biggest frustrations with this game is that we weren't in great form, but we weren't in terrible form. Definitely not losing to 2 of the bottom sides in the division sort of form coming into this one. But you save a game, you load it up, you start recording, and all of your form tends to just go out the window a little bit. A minute to be added on here. And we're 2-0 down at half-time to Birmingham, who are shit aggressively. Expect to see a much better showing from him in the second half. What can we do tactically? So attacking obviously hasn't worked. Let's go back to positive, and let's go back to this existing structure. I might let Greisinger be just a central defender on defend. But very disappointing, very frustrating as well. I guess I did make those tactical tweaks. Maybe they weren't well advised. Maybe we should have just stuck with the structure that's kind of gotten us through to this point. They've got a corner here again. Kelly, good header away, and Fleming gets a chance at a second strike just over the crossbar. We're through an hour now. What can we do here? Kamara having a poor game. Quite a few players having poor games, actually. Hernandez not playing well. Escobar playing poorly. We'll sub him. Wolf is not playing particularly well either. Granger can come on as a Messiah, though. And Petrovic on the right also struggling. He's dropped off a little bit over the last month or so. We'll switch Taylor to be a no-nonsense centre-back because I think keeping your defensive structures right is important. But let's go get creative. Come on, boys. This is our last little push to try and get something out of this game. Ball up the line here. Trueblood should recover. Back to Greisinger. All the way back to Kubis. Now Taylor. Hosseini. Trueblood. What can we work here, boys? Forward to Dorber, the fresh sub. Got the overlapping fullback. He's ignored the run, though. Hosseini, Greisinger. Now Benitez come deep to try and pick up possession because we just can't seem to get it out of our own half at the minute. Ball forward to Taylor. Back to Kubis again. Work it to the left-hand side. We've got 2 men open out there. Instead, we've gone to the right. Trueblood forward to Dorber. He's got a lot of men in front of him. Back to Hosseini. Good overlapping run there by Trueblood is found. Cuts it back towards back post. And Curse has managed to pull 1 goal back, his second of the season. Don't run to the corner flag. Go and get the ball. We need another goal, boys. Come on. Get it. Get it. It's good interplay. And Hosseini did quite well to recognise the run and to put that one into a good space for Trueblood to attack. And the ball back across is good. Curse does very well back. Gets himself in front of the fullback. Nods it back across. A natural fullback himself. I'm sure he's probably had more than one striker or winger do that to him over the course of the season. Deep free kick here. Out to the right-hand side. Barron's going to try and keep it in for Birmingham. Deep ball across. Trueblood with a good header away. Now Dorber's got a chance to come forward. What can we do here? We haven't seen much from Kamara. Dorber's lost the out, but Benitez managed to get to the ball first and finds the strike, but Ramirez does well, saves and holds. 10 minutes remain here. What else have we got left in our locker to fight back? Haven't seen much out of either of the subs. Kamara's in a poor little run of form. 3 minutes to be added on here. And we're through most of that now. We're going to lose both these games, aren't we? Oh, Jesus. Okay, what are we going to do? 11 shots, 3 on target, 43% possession, 14, 10 and 57%. Okay, aggressive. Not happy with that result. No need to be nice to them. Herman Hriderson, as an assistant, is just too calm and too polite to all of the players. All right, what are we going to do for the episodes for the rest of this week? It's going to make it very interesting. Okay, it sees us drop out of the playoff spots, and the devastating part about that is that Fulham has 2 games in hand. Swansea and Ipswich and Sheffield all have games in hand as well. So there's potential that the gap, while it's just goal difference now, is actually going to be points by the time we go into the next episode, which I think means that I need to try and bring you guys as much football as humanly possible. What games do we want to do though? Maybe we come straight back in, do the games against Aston Villa and Portsmouth. Maybe I'll do the Swansea game off screen, and then we come back and finish the season with the games against Cardiff and Derby, which should be 6 guaranteed points. But really, we need to try and get 5 wins from the remaining 5 games to make sure that we make that playoff position. I think that's what we'll do. All right, so not the ideal episode. 2 defeats in that one in games that I really thought we would have won, but it's not an in the mixer series if we don't bottle something at some point, and it's not Football Manager if it doesn't just throw form out the window and do shit as soon as you start recording, seemingly at random. But that's fine. That's the game. These are the challenges. I'm not going to complain about it. I'm just going to dust myself back off. We're going to go again. As always, thank you guys for the continued support. I do appreciate all the people that are watching the series each day. We've got like a good core of people that are watching episodes the same day they come out, which I appreciate a tremendous amount. If there's anything I can do for you guys, anything you want to see done differently, drop it in the comment section below. I do respond to every single comment that I get. If you want to go that extra mile, you can subscribe to the channel to be kept up to date on all our future videos, or drop a like on this one so that it appears higher in YouTube search results when people look for great FM content and lower league management saves and FC Isle of Man and all that other great stuff that's still coming throughout the course of this season. As always though guys, I've been Sean. I'll see you all again in the mixer.